What's up guys, Dan Munro coming at you with another fun-filled and exciting, action-packed, information-packed little video session on how to improve your life. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to figure out what you actually want from your life, what your ideal life and lifestyle would look like if there were no limitations. Okay? When it comes to figuring out what being a real person is, what being a real man or a real woman is, you have to know what you want, your true desires. And that's what we're going to try and figure out today. So I'm going to take you through a little exercise that I think will help you with this. And what's really important is that you attack this exercise without any limitations. Okay? I want you to pretend, just for now, that anything is possible. There are no limits. You can have as much money as you want. Everybody loves you. You can do whatever you want. I want you to think of the world in that kind of sense for filling out the exercise that I'm about to take you through. Okay? So this is the ideal life exercise. So what I want you to do is get yourself a nice piece of paper, a nice big one if you can, multiple small ones, I don't really care. I want you to get something looking a little bit like this down on paper, okay? So all you need at this stage is a piece of paper that you can split into 4 areas. Don't worry about what I've got written on there now. That's just going to help me prompt my way through this little exercise. This is all about you. You are going to fill in the content with what's important to you, okay? Every time I do this exercise with one of my clients, it goes differently, because everybody's unique and what they desire is different. And what's really interesting is that not a single person so far has been very materialistic with this. When you really know what you really want, it's always a deep down, really internally rewarding thing. So it isn't just about being rich and famous and getting all the babes, right? This is about living your purpose. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let go of your limitations and get ready to just unleash, I guess, your most deep down desires. Number 1, let's start with what you will have. So of everything, this is the most external, the most materialistic part of the dream. Okay, I want you to talk a little bit, I want you to write down some ideas, some bullet points around what is most important to have in your life. Okay, these are things that other people could see. These are external, measurable things. Okay. Money. How much will you be earning? How much will you have in the bank? How much wealth will you have acquired in general at your ideal life? Okay? Some people only need enough money to get by. Others, they want their financial security, and some others want millions and millions. They want to control the whole financial world. Figure out which one of those you are. Come up with an amount, right? Possessions. So these are the toys, right? What are you actually going to own? Are you going to own a house? Are you going to own a nice car? Are you going to own this, that, and the other? What's important to have in your life, okay? And don't write down what you think other people think that you should have. Write down what you actually want, right? Property. Again, this kind of comes under possessions. Where are you going to live? What's going to look like? Are you going to be someone who roams around or stays still? Is it going to be a big property? Is it going to be city, farm, whatever? Kind of get that ideal house, that ideal shelter lined up in your mind. For me personally, I want to travel around the world living in hotels. That's just me. Other people want to buy a house and live in it for the rest of their life. Figure out which one you are. Friends and family. What kind of people will you have in your life? And what's really important here, you need to describe the quality of those people. Okay? What is it about people that you like, and what would you like to be surrounded more by? So what are high quality people to you, and how do you get more of them in your life? Actually, don't worry about the how to just yet. Just who are they and what do they look like? Get that right there in your life, okay? Knowledge. So one of the things you can have is knowledge. So what do you want to know about? What do you want to learn about? What do you want to become an expert in? What do you want to be able to teach others about? Okay? Build up that knowledge. Power. How much control do you want to have in your life? Who do you want to have control over, or what do you want to have control over? What kind of power do you want to have? Do you want to be a leader? What do you want going on there? Influence and access. So influence is kind of how much is the world going to be impacted by you. So this is kind of like power. This is more what are you going to do with that power, which we'll get into in a second. Access. So are you going to be a high status person? What will that give you access to? For example, will your friends and family support group be surrounded by high-powered business people or celebrities or just regular people or what? Figure that out. This is your ideal life. No limitations now. Before we move on to the next section, just on that note, I want you to now look over what you've written down for this so far, and I want you to change anything that you think you wrote down in a limited way. If you got a thought that said, oh, but how am I going to do this? You probably limited yourself. So I want you to go back over what you've written down and remove those limits and put down what you really want, as if you could have it. Okay? Next, what will you be doing? So in your ideal life, even if you had $1 billion and you never had to work essentially ever again, what are you actually going to do with your time? Okay? You can't just sit around on jet skis all day. That will be fun for the first year or so, then you're going to get bored of it. And you've got a purpose to fulfill, and that's what this is all about. So what is it that you're going to be doing with your time? So, what will you do for fun? That's usually the easiest one to answer. What are your hobbies? What activities do you like? What are the things that you can't afford that you wish you could do? What are the things that you've never done before but you're really interested in? What are you going to do just for your own pleasure? Work and purpose. This is a harder one now. What are you going to do that's meaningful? What is the wrong in the world that you want to right? What is the purpose of you being here? What function do you serve? These are the really hard questions to answer. I know. And part of this is figuring out the answer to that question in particular. If you could do anything, if you had so much money that you never had to officially work anymore, but you wanted to create some meaning in the world, what kind of stuff would you do? Right? Would it be charitable work? Would it be trying to help those who are underprivileged? Would it be trying to make lots of money? Would it be trying to build things or destroy things or what? Figure it out. On your downtime, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to relax? What is a relaxing thing for you to do? Is it a walk on the beach? Is it reading a book? Is it skydiving? Are you one of those people, like me? Growing and building. So what are you going to keep doing to make yourself a better person in your eyes? Okay? I read a different self-development book every week. Not really self-help, but non-fiction. I like to watch TED Talks. There's things I'm always doing to try and make myself a better person. What does that look like for you? What will you be doing? And how are you going to keep building this lifestyle? Is there some sort of empire you wish to create, even if it's just within your own family? Is there something you want to be known for and remembered for? What do you want to learn about? So in your learning time, which should never stop, by the way. You know, we're taught that at the end of school, learning time's over. Really, it's just begun. And the best thing about being an adult is you get to choose what you learn about. Whereas when you're a kid, you're stuck forced to do things, right? So what do you want to learn about? Exploration and travel. There's a whole big world out there, and most people don't see very much of it. They stay stuck in their little cave and they stay there for a long time, and occasionally they dash off for a holiday or a vacation, and then they come back to their little cave. I highly recommend you get out there and find out about some stuff. So what is exploration, travel, adventure? What does that mean to you? Maybe it doesn't mean traveling physically, maybe it means traveling mentally in some way, finding a more spiritual base. Who knows? How will you explore the world? What are new things that you wish to try? You know, what are things you've never done before that maybe scare you a little bit, but if you had the courage, you would do them? What's on your bucket list? And what are you going to change about yourself? So what is it about you now, behavior-wise, that you need to change, right? Maybe it's how you take care of your health. Maybe it's the kind of talk that you give yourself. Maybe it's how you treat others. Maybe you're too nice or too mean or whatever. What are you going to change about that? So that's essentially the external part of this, okay? This is what your life will look like to other people. Other people will be able to see this stuff. And this is where a lot of people stop when it comes to their ideal life. But I want to go deeper. I want to look at what's going to be happening in here while you're living this life, because that is actually what's important, and that's what you're trying to achieve Essentially, all this stuff is to give yourself internal rewards. How will you feel about yourself, and how will you see yourself? So imagine that you are living this life that you've described, all those things that you enjoy and love. You're now doing them. What is it? What effect is it going to have on you? What kind of emotions will you experience regularly? What kind of positive feelings will become a normal part of your everyday life? How will you describe yourself? What is your identity? What type of man or woman are you? Do you see yourself as a leader or a hero or what? Describe yourself in some very powerful way. I think of myself as a masculine man. That's how I like to see myself. It's a very simple statement, but it means a lot to me, given the journey that I've been on. What's your statement? What do you wish you were? Right? An easier way to answer this is, who do you admire the most? Because they're probably the people you wish you were. Self-worth and confidence. If you had all this and you created it and you were responsible for it, how would you feel about yourself? How would you think of yourself in terms of confidence? Would you have courage? Would you feel certain and purposeful? And how worthy would you feel? Your place in the world, etc. Thought patterns. So with these daily healthy emotions come certain thoughts about yourself. What are these thoughts going to be? Is it going to be, I am the man, I get things done, I can handle anything, bring it on? You know, what powerful statements will regularly be floating in your mind that maybe aren't there now? All that negative stuff that happens in your mind now, the shame and the fear, if that's replaced with positive things, what are those positive things? Health, both mental and physical. Okay, so health is a feeling as well as a physical thing. So in here you might have ripped abs or whatever, but how does that make you feel inside? Do you feel full of energy? Do you feel excited and enthusiastic? Do you feel clear-headed and peaceful? These are health things. And in general, how satisfied are you? If this life is happening, do you feel that you've done what you're supposed to be doing? Do you feel good about what you've done? Do you feel satisfied? Now lastly, this little one is about stepping away from yourself, because this bit can be hard to answer, I know. You know, trying to figure out how you feel and how you see yourself in a certain hypothetical future. An easier way to look at it is, how will other people see you? So imagine, you're this person who has all these great things, is doing all this choice as stuff, and feels great about themselves. What would other people see, and how would they talk about you? Would you be inspirational? What kind of people would you inspire? Who would be inspired by you, and why? Would you be motivational? Would people see you and think, oh my God, I really want to be like that. I'm going to change my ways, or whatever. Are you going to be able to teach others how you created this? And would you teach them, and how would you teach them? Are you going to be a role model to a certain type of people? You know, maybe you want to work with underprivileged kids. Would you be a role model to those kids to show them that you can become this, that, and the other? Would other people envy you? And it's okay to admit that you want this. Who are the kind of people who are going to look at you and go, ah, lucky bastard, wish I had that life? Who are your enemies going to be? So if you're authentic, if you're standing for what you believe in, and you're true to yourself, that will create certain people who are against you. Who are those people? Describe them. The importance in describing who the people you're going to fight against, and I don't mean fight, but I mean maybe argue or debate or work against as a cause. What is it about them that triggers the enemy phase in you? You know, who is it that you wish wasn't here on the planet, so to speak? And also, who is going to see you as the enemy? The reason this is important is because you will be able to tell how authentic you're being over time by the more of these people who show themselves. The one thing I know that made me more authentic, or at least allowed me to see that I was being authentic and had integrity, is I started to piss some people off. Now, being a former nice guy who tried to please everyone, this was a sure sign that I'd stopped doing that, and I was finally starting to be truthful. So it was a great measurement tool for me. How will good people that you inspire and are motivating, how will they describe you to other people? You know, what words would they use? Imagine them talking about you behind your back in a positive way. How would they do that? How would they describe you to others? And lastly, when they're talking about your strengths, the things that they admire about you the most, what are they going to say? Okay. So, in order for this to work properly, what you could probably do is watch this video, keep pausing it at the end of my little prompts here, and fill in your parts, or you can just freestyle it. Open these boxes up and just chuck as much information as you can in there. Okay? I want you to fill it up, even if it seems unrealistic or you're not sure or whatever. This is the brainstorm phase. Don't worry about getting it right, just get it down on paper. The next thing I want you to do, the follow-up to this, is once you've got it all down, I want you to go through and highlight the 10 or 20 things that are most important to you. The ones that when you read them, you go, yes, that's what my ideal life is about. That's important. Highlight those. So that's step one. Step two is I want you to take those, I want you to combine them and write a story. If you're not big on writing in words, you can say it or into a recording device or film yourself on video. Either way, draw pictures, it doesn't matter. Get it all down into one place and kind of describe this ideal lifestyle. So for example, if you said under what you'll do for fun, snowboarding, the story might say, I will be snowboarding regularly in Colorado. Okay? I will have, I will be doing, I will feel. I want you to use these kind of, what do you call that, adjectives? I don't know grammar. The things that go ahead of it, and write a story. I want you to be able to describe your ideal life. Next up, we're going to see how we can get that ideal life to become a reality for you by removing the barriers that stand in between you and this. And I will see you next time. Cheers.